Hey, hello. How's everybody doing? It's K the Casual DJ coming back at you guys. Had a rough time last night, even doing the live. I had to end it a little bit abruptly. Had some wild, crazy stuff going on in the background. I don't want to get into it, but we had some crazy stuff going on around there. Anyway, back again for another episode for day number 26. We're driving this bad boy down the stretch. We're coming in for a landing. We're coming in for a home run. We're coming around the curve. We're trying to knock this bad boy out of the park. And we're just steady going. We're going as far as we can go with this. We're going to complete this 30-day challenge. How's it going, Philip? Philip Jones in the house. Thanks a lot, Phil. But yeah, this is a 30-day challenge. Coming down the stretch, we had a few bumps and bruises on this boy. This 30-day video challenge, to be specific in this particular instance. But we're nearing the end of it. We've come quite a long ways. It's been quite a ride. A lot of bumps and bruises, a lot of adventure, excitement, a lot of ups, downs, crazy stories, whatever. But we've come this far, and we're going to finish this thing out. We come up on another 10-man Tuesday. Hey, what's up, Phil? Good to see you, my dog. Yeah, we're coming up on another 10-man Tuesday. 10-man Tuesdays is one of the little features that we do have. One of the features about Cleo. What's up, Cleo? House. Cleo's hanging in there. We're getting it done, Cleo. We're on day 26. We're just about to knock this boy out of the park. But yeah, we're coming up on. This is 10-man Tuesday. And on 10-man Tuesdays, we kind of try to get some things going for the actually this is kind of the last roundup for the classroom registration. We try to get 10 people each week, 10 new students or new signups, new registrants each week for just basics for marketing classes. It's called 10 Days of Cash Flow. And we don't put out a dare, we don't put out a guarantee, none of that type of stuff. But we try to set a goal and set an objective, a small, tiny objective, just to see if it can be done for you and for others, to see if you can make a 10-day turnaround to actually generate some cash flow. 10 days or 14 days, depends on how you want to do it, But anyway, that's what the 10-man Tuesday thing is about. Each week, we try to get 10 new stories, 10 new lives, 10 new people, at least that much. Maybe much more than that. But at the very minimum, and that's on like 2 people a day, Monday through Friday. 2 people every day, Monday through Friday. And try to see if we can go into their stories, their situation. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own background, their own goals, their own lives, their own dreams, whatever they want to do. And try to get a small part of the way towards that within a little 10-day period. It's actually called the 10-day challenge. Since I'm doing these challenges, doing these 30-day challenges and all of that, we're actually calling it the 10-day challenge. And it's hooked up with 10 days of cash flow. And that's also hooked, let me go back to the top. I'm reading my notes again, my Evernotes. And it's also hooked up to the cash flow pipeline system and the 1K challenge. Just a lot of stuff in that. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds. But anyway, I just kind of want to touch on a couple of basic things so we kind of focus on marketing a little bit more so, especially on Tuesdays. Mondays is personal development. Mondays is motivational Monday. Tuesdays is the marketing tips. We go hardcore into marketing, business, small business tips and things like that. Wednesday is wealth building Wednesday. We get into some more principles, wealth building principles, long-term wealth building. And then Thursday is small business Thursday and group economics Thursday, where we kind of close it out. And then the weekend, we go into some other things. But anyway, I just want to touch on that briefly. We are opening up the registration for brand new students every week. Classroom registration. Those will begin next Monday. So we're trying to prepare for that all this week, kind of get everybody hooked up for that this week, get you signed up, get you registered, get you ready for Monday classroom. There's not that big of a deal with the classes. It's just like about an hour or so long, if that long, per day. And it's just some simple stuff, simple assignments, simple lessons. Like I said, we just want to get you a quick 10-day turnaround to get some cash generated as quick as possible. And usually it's a little quicker than that, but it depends on what we're doing. And the cash flow pipeline system is how we do that. There's a lot of different product choices, a lot of different options, a lot of different choices, a lot of different ways that people can go. There's a lot to it. But we do have some requirements. I'm going to go through those right quick, and then I'll kind of let you guys know, people who do want to sign up and all of that, what some of the requirements are. Number one, how many do we have? We got 4. How many is this? Looks like 5, I guess. Okay, number one, we got... we kindly ask that everybody please follow the rules that we have set up for you and for your benefit and for our benefit. Violating the rules could be grounds for suspension, termination, or expulsion from the classroom or the program itself. So if everybody could cooperate and stay on board for the means of the group or the community, I guess you could call it the family, please, we ask that you follow the rules. They don't have any horrible rules, nothing tightly restricting. Like I said, this is simple stuff. We want to keep it as simple as possible. Number two, you do have to qualify. You do have to qualify according to the qualifications set up by our product vendors and our service vendors. We use outside vendors. None of these products specifically are our own. We have sponsors and advertisers. They're the ones, in most cases, not all, sometimes we do our own. In most cases, they're the ones who are paying us. So the people have to qualify, or you cannot get the 10 days to cash flow. You can't get the cash flow if you don't qualify according to their rules. They're paying, So you got to qualify. And there's different qualifications depending on the product, on the vendor. Number 3, you have to properly and consistently follow the steps, the instructions, and the directions that we give, or the sponsors or the vendors give, or the advertisers give. They have steps and instructions and directions. If you follow those, you can do the 10-day, get the cash within 10 days. If not, it's going to cause difficulties, and it's probably not going to turn out to be a positive experience. Now, we will not, and we cannot guarantee any performance results from your efforts. This is a business. You're not buying a hamburger from McDonald's. You're not buying, some eggs from Kroger or whatever. This is a business. You're operating in a self-employed type of business. It's an economy. An economy doesn't have guarantees. There's ups and downs in economies, in the stock market, in the real estate market, and the business market, and the flows of seasons. I have a whole note, I have a whole speech on economies. I get deep into creating your own economy. So when you get into the essence of what an economy consists of, you'll see that there's no guarantees within the confines of an economy. Now, there's a lot of different paths laid out. There's a lot of ways, a lot of examples, trends, patterns, precedents, but no guarantees within an economy. So there's no guarantee. I lost my spot. Oh, this is also an investment. Now, may not be any money investment. We're not asked for any type of money, but it is a time investment and attention investment. So there'd be some level of risk. We can't predict what you're going to do, what the next person is going to do. Anybody can do whatever they want at any time. There's no predictions. If a problem does come up, we do our best to try to resolve the problem if we can. We do the best of our abilities and our circumstances to try to resolve the problem. That still doesn't mean we issue a guarantee or a refund. You're not spending any money. That will be determined on a case-by-case basis. Just going over the little stuff so that we can, if we're going to have something where you get X amount of dollars at X amount of time, we got to make sure that you stay in this lane, in a certain lane, so we can make sure that you get it. You're flopping all over the place, then it's going to be a little tough to get that. Number 4, we also ask you, please don't reveal the products or services or the advertisers or the vendors we might be working with at any given time. Not that we want to be secret or anything, but, we kind of want people, we don't want people talking smack outside who aren't in the thing. Go be inside the thing, and then once you're doing it, then you can say what happens after you're done with it, rather than people talking smack, pointing fingers, just do what it is that needs to be done. Then you can say, well, it was great, well, it was crap, well, it was horrible, after you're done, after you've gone through the thing. We ask you to please not reveal anything. Products might change from time to time. Techniques might change. Strategies might change. Platforms might change. Please remain open to any adaptations or changes that might come somewhere down the road. That might come. We're not loyally restricted to one specific product or vendor, whatever. Number 5, in addition, we ask that you report back to the general public. We're not keeping secrets. At the end of the 10 days, what your results were, what happened after you followed our steps, instructions, and practice on a consistent basis. And that's about it. Now, we're not making promises. We're not guaranteeing. We have a goal. We want to hit a map. We want to hit an average of 80% success rate if possible. Hey, how's it going, Dan? Dan Smith. Congratulations. Thanks for joining in, man. We want to. It's our goal, not our guarantee, but our goal to hit an average or a minimum of an 80% success rate. 80% success rate. Now, some of you may sound like gibberish to some, but if you've been in any type of marketing realms or any type of entrepreneurial type situations, 80% is an extremely high success rate. Not a guarantee, but a goal. With each new class of students, and to hopefully maintain that percentage as they progress through each of the steps. Our goal is to have new Belindas. Hey, what's up, Belinda? Belinda's in the house. Oh yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been quite a minute, man. It has been a while, but I'm still hanging there, still doing my thing. I got to do what I do. Got to be who I am. But yeah, we're doing 10-man. But yeah, we're doing a 10-man Tuesday, and like I said, we're not guaranteeing an 80% success rate, but we are shooting for that goal. Sheena Wilson's in the house. Renee, how's it going, cuz? Chi-Town representing. We're doing our thing. We're on day number 26, so we're about to knock this out of the park. We're about to call it a day. So we've come this far, and we're going to continue to represent. You got to keep swinging. We had a couple of crazy blows, but we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do this thing. But but that's about it on those 5 rules on that 10-day challenge. Just a couple little things, all these little things for 10-man Tuesday. Just TDCF, like I said, that's 10 days of cash flow. And the cash flow pipeline system, that's a little bit more involved, a little bit more intricate with that cash flow pipeline system. Had to go into that on another presentation. I already have one, but I'll probably do another one on that. So I'm not going to go deep into that. But that's primarily what we'll be using to generate the cash flow. And it's different products, different services, different. Love you too, Sheena. Love you too, Renee. Different products and different services that we're using, that's what we're going to be doing. Just wanted to let everybody know about that. We starting that up Monday. Will be day 1 for that, and it goes 10 days. You can take it Monday through Friday. That's 10, or you can which is 14 days. Or is that 10 days, or is it actually 12 days? Or you can, go 5 and take 2 days off, which is the weekend, and then do another 5 days. It's not a whole lot of work. Like I say, it's just little small things. It's probably about an hour a day, whatever, blah, 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 something like that. But, we do want to kind of stretch it out and give everybody a chance, give everybody some time to get something going, to get something done and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Now, I kind of do want to go into this pipeline system thing a little bit on another video, on another presentation. I want to go into that deeper again and go into the different products and stuff we got for that. And just come back on that, man. JR, you talking about wait a minute, you talking about wait a minute. Hold up a second. Wait a minute. You're not talking about Lamont. I know you're not talking about Lamont, are you? You talking about Lamont? I know you're not. I know you ain't talking about Lamont. You ain't talking about another JR. Unless I'm getting confused or whatever. Because that's the only one I can think of. Unless, if you're talking about Lamont, unless there's another one that oh, wait a minute. Oh, so you are talking about Lamont. What in the world? What are you doing, man? Hold up. You got me confused if you're talking about Lamont, man. You got me confused. Get your big... Man, you always were a trip, man. Get your big... Where you get that? Dan Smith, where'd you get that from, man? Man, you are a mess, boy. That sounds like you, though. That sounds like you. That does sound like you. What's up, though, dog? What's up, man? I hadn't seen you in quite a while, man. What's up, man? You still up there on the north side doing your thing. I'm still down in the south, down in the dirty, whatever, getting it popping and all that type of stuff or whatever. Oh, Lamont is in the house, huh? Oh, okay. So that is with Lamont. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I get the connection now. You kind of threw me way off guard with that. Way off guard. Yeah, I see. You threw me way off guard with that, but yeah, okay, okay. I'm still tripping off that, but yeah, that does sound like you. Come to think of it, that sounds like you anyway. That sounds like anybody that knows you. Yeah, that definitely sounds like you. Most definitely. Yeah, what's up, Labat? Yeah, what's up, Labat? Oh, yeah, well, I try to do a little something in there. I try to do, I always got some things going. I always got my mind's always turning on different projects, different campaigns, and different this and different that. So yeah, so I'm getting this kicked off for this month. We're winding this down, the 30-day video challenge down. We're winding it down, and August is here. This is a brand new month. August is a brand new month. So August is a month that's my birthday month in August. So August is a brand new month, the beginning of the month to get something popping. I know if everybody getting their checks and all of that, they can, party a little bit or celebrate or pay bills or whatever you do for the first of the month. But beyond that, man, to do some things, to put your mind to doing something, what I'm going to do, what am I going to accomplish, what am I going to get done, what can I do to improve my situation, to grow myself, to grow my finances, to do something, that I can get on to the next level or some kind of way. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. But yeah, man. It's a brand new month, man. It's got to get this thing going. You gotta stay rolling, because if you stay too still, you're gonna start growing, moss, or start growing ferns and all this type of stuff and all that. Oh yeah, well, this is a 30-day challenge. Well, this particular video thing is a 30-day video challenge. So I jumped on that. I'm winding it down towards the end, but I jumped on that early in the month. Okay, well, thank you, and you too. Okay, yeah, you just you just had one a little while ago. I thought you were on 24, but I see you on the 29th. So yeah, well, this specific one is a 30-day video challenge. I'm always doing different type of video challenges. I'm always doing yeah, you see what's the name on there? You see, he completely threw me way off with just Dan Smith. I'm like, what in the Dan Smith? I just figured I knew him from high school or somewhere. I'm like, maybe I knew him in school or something or whatever, or some job I worked or whatever. I'm like, these people come from different jobs. I'm like, maybe I met him at it. I don't know. He's still throwing me off with that, but it fits though. It's kind of fitting a little bit, so it kind of started to make a little bit of sense. So now as I know who it is, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that does sound like you. Yeah, that's that's JR all day. That boy, if you know JR, that's him That's him head to toe there. Yeah, that's him. All right, that sounds like him. But yeah, man, this 30-day challenge, man. I'm always on different things, and 30-day challenges are like just one specific vehicle or specific tool to do some things. Because I'm getting ready to start another one after this. This is just a video challenge. I'm starting another one after this. And the way it really works, man, you really should do these jokers every month, because you ought to be on something every month. I don't care if you're working out. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight. I don't care if you're trying to learn a new skill. I don't care if you're trying to learn how to work Fruity Loops, or you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do. You out there trying to make some things happen. You're trying to get something going. So, 30 days at a time is really supposed to be 90 days. That's what it's really supposed to be. 90 days is a little tougher to work with, so you go with 30. And 30 is a little tough to work with, but I have it broken down. This is with anything now. I'm just doing videos, but it could be with anything. And I have it broke down a little different with 30 days. I do mine in 10 days, which you do 10 days times 3. Yeah, I got a whole system I could break down. Lamont, I got a gang of notes about all types of stuff, and I use my notes because I got so much in there. I got like 2 or 3 books worth of stuff in my notes. I mean, chapters, literally. I'm talking about actual book, 20 chapter books in there. And the 30-day thing, I got a whole breakdown on that, on what it doing and everything. Well, today's challenge is basically part of the video challenge anyway. I'm getting ready to go into some classes and stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's a personal challenge. It is a personal challenge. I'm getting ready to go into some classes, and I'm getting ready to start those next Monday. So this week I'm getting the registration stuff ready. Taking registrations for people who want to sign up, who want to get involved in the classes. And the classes are short. It's like a 10-day type of class, a 10-day challenge. So it's real small and short. But like I was trying to say earlier, with the 30-day challenges, the way I do them, I break them into threes, because really it's like 7 to 7. 7 times 4 is 28. I break them into threes, trying to make it easier. Bite this cake. You got a big piece of cake. Bite it in chunks. So I got it in 3 chunks. I got 3 10-day chunks. So the first 10-day chunk, you got your first 10 days. Like I said, I get deep on this stuff. I get subterranean deep on it. The first 10-day chunk is 10 days. I call that a module, because you got 4 weeks, which is 7 weeks. But if you do it in 3 months, that's 3 modules. And 3 modules equals 30 days. So your first 10 days is your first module. So you break your module up into like 4 different sections, whatever. Like your first 3, your second 3, and then your last 3, and then that 4th one. So you kind of break up into 4 sections. You got your first 3 days, you get over that hump. And I found out, see, I get philosophical on some of this stuff. When you look back through life, you look back years ago, like last month or whatever. When you look back through life, see, life is time. You're going through life in time. We're talking about 30 days. So you're going through life in time. So when you look back on what you remember. Now, today is Tuesday. I told you, man, I get deep. I try not to get too deep, because I will get off into some subterranean stuff. But anyway, you look back on life. You're trying to break this 30 days down. So you break it down into 10 days, and you break that down into 3 days. Now look back on life. When you're trying to remember something, you think about it. How far back do you remember? Now, how many of you can remember yesterday? Today is Tuesday. How many of you can remember yesterday? Yesterday was Monday. You got up yesterday morning, you did this, you did whatever, yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. Okay, that's one day. You go back the day before that. Now look how time is going by. This is your life. You go back the day before that was Sunday. What do you remember about Sunday? You woke up Sunday morning, you did whatever you had to do Sunday. That evening you watched TV, you came home, you ate dinner, you went to bed that Sunday night. That ain't but 2 days that you live life. 2 days. And the day before that was Saturday. Now you see how far back Saturday seems? Now today is just Tuesday. You see how far back Saturday seems? 3 days ago. What did you do Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, that Saturday evening when you watched TV, when you came home, when you got through playing with the kids, you got through washing the car, and that Saturday night? This just 3 days ago. What did you do Saturday? Just 3 days ago. See, when life goes by, and it's just, all it is time going by. It goes by in like increments. It's like 3-day chunks. That 3 days is about as far as you can kind of remember vividly. I told you. I'm trying to tell you. I'm getting deep. I'm trying to tell you about time going by, how life goes by. 3 days. Saturday was just 3 days ago. Saturday morning was just 3 days ago. And that 3 days, when you really think about it, it seems like a long time. It ain't that long. It ain't 3 days. You can't halfway remember what you did Saturday. That morning, you can't halfway remember what you did Saturday. Only way you can remember it is if something bad happened, like a storm or a tornado, or or you broke your foot or something horrible happened, because it sticks in your mind real hard, just like 9/11. When something sticks in your mind real hard, it stays in there. And, it's so anchored in there. Like you ask somebody about 9/11, everybody remembers 9/11 because they remember exactly what they were doing on 9/11, because you got hit so deep and hard. But shoot, 3 days ago, what you eat? What you do Saturday morning? Well, Saturday, all that type of stuff. What did you do? See, that's what I'm talking about time going by. So that's why I break it up into 3 modules. The first part of the first module, the 10 days, is 3 days. You get to your first 3 days. I don't care if you're trying to quit smoking crack. I don't care what you're doing. You're trying to stop being an alcoholic, whatever you're doing. You got to get to your first 3 days of being clean. And to get to them first 3 days, you got to get to your first 1 day of being clean. All you're doing is counting time, but you can't live life just counting time. That's what they do in jail. You can't just live life counting time. You got to do something with your time. That's what life is. So anyway, that's how I break down these 30 days, man. The 30-day module. I break it down to 10-day modules, and I break the modules down 3, 6, 9, and 10. And you knock the module out. You celebrate it, and you go to the next one. Now, we just talking about time going back. What you doing with the time? Oh, you do? Oh, you must have saw it and I didn't know it, because I didn't see it. I don't even remember seeing it, man. Because I remember what I did Saturday. Well, actually, I don't remember what I did Saturday morning. I remember Friday morning, because Saturday was it was such a rushed day. I was so rushed Saturday, I don't really remember. I kind of remember Saturday evening and Saturday night, but during that day, that morning, it's kind of foggy what all I did Saturday morning. I really would have to think hard on what I did Saturday morning, because I was rushing around. I was going to work, and I really, it's hard for me. Sunday, I can see Sunday a little bit better. Sunday and Monday, I can see better. But Saturday night, man, I can't really even see Saturday morning. I had to think. I had to sit up here and think, close my eyes and think to remember what I did Saturday morning, because I really don't exactly. I kind of do, but I don't exactly remember. But anyway, man, yeah, I get into a whole lot of deep stuff like that. You know, like I said, Lamont he know I got some stuff. Lamont know I got reams of stuff, man. This is just barely. This ain't nothing here. This is just this is just one little corner I'm pulling back to peek at, because it gets it gets way down up in there, you know. And that stuff helps, you know, just to reflect on things, just to slow down a little bit, you know. Oh man, yeah, it's crazy, man. When you think about time, man, it's exciting, but it can be depressing, you know. And you talking about life, you know. You talking about life. 10 years of your life going by. Kids halfway grown. Kids might be grown. You don't be thinking about this stuff until you just sit back and think about it. You just get up in the morning, go to work, and make some eggs, and come home and watch TV. You ain't thinking about it, because you have to reflect when you think, and you take moments to reflect. You have moments of reflecting. You don't reflect all day long, but you have moments of reflecting. Then you got to live life. If you don't live no life, you ain't got nothing to reflect on. Oh, because time goes by. Shoot, as time goes by, you know how quick it is. You can go from 40 to 50. Because at my birthday this month, I'll be 51. You know, goes by quick. You know, because what happened, you know, you have a shorter time span. We don't have that much time to work with. You really can get depressed. You start talking about how much time we have. And, you know, that can, you going down a rabbit hole thinking about that. And I tried, the closer you get to that, you know, it just gets a little bit darker when you think about that, about your time shortening. So, you know, rather than focusing on the length of it, you focus on the quality of it, you know, and what you can do in life, or you walk in life. That's why you don't want to be sitting around twiddling your thumbs. You're just sitting around twiddling, you know, doing this, looking at the wall, whistling Dixie, and eating hoe cakes or whatever. And that's fine, you know, because some people don't have a lot of ambition, and I don't hate on you for not having ambition. You know, if you don't have anything that you want to be or do, I mean, you know, that's cool. That's the freedom that we have as humans, and we live in America and all this type of stuff, and we can do what we want to do. But if you walk in this life, breathing this air, and you got all these people around, you got all these opportunities around you, you might as well do something. Or you can sit there and eat hoe cakes or whatever. I mean, hoe cakes are fun, but I mean, I don't want to get all into that either. That gets into another whole discussion either, so I don't want to get all into that. But anyway, the whole subject of the matter was you putting time limits on yourself. You putting, because 30 days is a deadline. And when you put a deadline on yourself, you're putting a deadline on what you want to do. Deadline creates a pressure vacuum. You know, exactly. A deadline creates a pressure vacuum. And you got a certain amount of time to get what you want to get done. So you got to get it done, you know. And you have to be accountable for that time. You got to be self-accountable, group accountable, or external accountable. Exactly. Procrastination is one of the big enemies. I got a whole thing about procrastination. I have a name for all that stuff. I call it LDP titties and the 6 laws of delay and resistance. When I get into that procrastination, one of them is procrastination. LDP is laziness, distractions, and procrastination. Those are your enemies. Now, they're internal enemies. Inside of you, it ain't John Bob's fault and Billy's fault and Susie's fault and some dude around the corner and your girl and your wife and your kids. That's internal. But when you get to titties, that can be internal and external. And what is titties? Titties is temptations, interruptions, delays, distractions, emotion, and energy. Those 6 things is titties. All 6 of those things. Those are your enemies. Some of them are outside of you. Some of them are inside of you. You got enemies on the outside. You got enemies on the inside. You know, in any type of battle you get going, you're going to have enemies. And sometimes you're your own enemy. You know, that's why I use a whole lot of analogies. I guess something called the 18 analogies. I told you I get deep. I got something called the 18 analogies. One of the analogies is, and the analogies are just stories. One of the analogies is the 12-step program. Now, let's say you hooked on dope, you on crack, you on meth, whatever you on, whatever. You want to get off of that. It helps to get into a 12-step rehab program. And for a 12-step rehab program, you have to take it a day at a time to get off of that stuff. That's internal. Now, you got enemies on the inside that's making you do this stuff. You got enemies on the outside. All your old homeboys, they all want to smoke crack. They all want to, shoot heroin or whatever they want to do. Those are your enemies now. And all this stuff out there, it's a whole lot of stuff out there. You got pressures and strife. You got enemies out there attacking you. And if you're a religious person, if you're spiritual minded, you have satanic enemies, demonic enemies. You got demons out there that want to oppose you. You have Satan, satanic forces out there that want to oppose you. They do all type of stuff to knock you down. And then you'd be saying, why are they doing this to me? Why am I having all these obstacles? Why am I having these problems? Why am I having all these challenges? That gets extremely deep as into why. The best way I can put it, not to the answer to why, because I really don't want to answer the why. The best way I can put it is anytime you're growing, you're going to have resistance. If you put some seeds in the ground, you put a blade of grass in the mud or whatever in the sidewalk, crack in the sidewalk, and that blade of grass got to come up through the mud, through the dirt. That blade of grass, in order to grow, has to push outside of the seed. It has to push against dirt. And the roots down, they have to dig into the roots to anchor the plant as it goes up. So that's a resistance. So you're growing. So you go against resistance, which somebody opposed you. Like when you're playing football, somebody has to be on the other team. When you're playing basketball, somebody has to be on the other team. They have to oppose you, And a lot of times we saying, why? Well, if you live in life, man, and you doing stuff and you're trying to grow, you're trying to work out and build muscles, you're trying to, lift weights, you pump iron, your muscle fibers, the cells inside your muscle are resisting the extra stress. So when that extra stress, that extra resistance comes from you lifting that weight, the cell has to grow and get bigger and to create that muscle strand because you're just reacting to the stress you just put on it by lifting them weights. And then you go back the next morning, you lift some more weights. And it's got to keep, them cells have to keep growing. But without resistance, you can't grow. So that's where these obstacles come. The resistance can become inside of you. You got your own demons inside your own head or your own past or your own history. Or you got some knuckleheads out here that want to try you. You have self-discipline. You got knuckleheads out here that want to try you. You got haters. You got haters out here that want to talk smack. Haters want to talk smack. Man, why you doing? Man, you ain't gonna do, man, why you doing that? What you doing? What you doing that? You got other folks, man, you ain't gotta do all that. People that, try to love you, that want to help you, that want you ain't got to do that. Why, come on and do that. You get temptation. Come on back and do that. Those are your external enemies. So all of this is all part of the process of trying to get something done. If you're trying to do something, you're going to have resistance. You're going to have opposition. And the bigger the thing you're trying to do, the bigger the opposition or the resistance is to what you're trying to do, even if it's inside yourself. No matter where it's coming from, because it may probably going to come from both sides. You got to get your own habits, and then you got to fight these folks out here, these messages, these ideas, these haters, all these folks out here. You got to fight all of them out there. So it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. But that goes into my personal development stuff, my stuff on Motivational Mondays and all that type of stuff. And today, like I said, the 10-day challenge. It's called 10-Man Tuesday. We have classes coming up, trying to open up for the registration for the classes and all that type of stuff today. So today was basically giving information out for registration, trying to get signed up for the classes and stuff coming up this Monday, starting Monday. We're gonna do the registrations all week, and that's basically all we were doing today. I have other videos going back to the other 30 days and all that type of stuff, and other stuff that I cover and all that type of stuff on the radio show. I got other stuff, but I try to keep it on one subject or two, maybe one or two or three subjects per video, so I can go down and do that on a per video basis. But yeah, that's about it, man. That's about it. So I better go ahead on and cut this out. I usually try to make these about 10, 20 minutes, 30 at the most, or whatever, depends on what we're doing. and just come back to the next one to keep going and keep going and keep going. And tomorrow is Wealth Building Wednesday. I don't have a topic yet because I don't focus too much on the Wealth Building Wednesday part because there's some deeper stuff that's kind of outside the scope of what people get into. So I just do other topics that I get, probably either my business stuff or my personal development stuff. Because the Wealth Building Wednesday is more investment stuff, so that's a little bit deeper. Thursdays is Group Economic Thursday. That's Small Business Thursday and Group Economics Thursday. Thursday where I do like the main thing for the group economics because I'm big into the group economics, which is crowdfunding. That's like my main thing is group economics. And then Friday is mostly entertainment and all that type of stuff. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekends until I come back Monday. Well, that's basically about it, man. Just the 10-day challenge, man. Just getting folks ready for the 10-day challenge. Because, see, when this came up, I wasn't really exactly ready for it. It just kind of came out of nowhere. But I jumped on it because I knew how 30-day challenges, how powerful they are. So I jumped on it. I wasn't really prepared. So sometimes you can't wait. You just got to jump in there. And then as you go, kind of get things straightened up as you go along. Start plowing the road crooked and straighten it up as you go along. So I wasn't really prepared for this, but it didn't matter. I just get it going. It wasn't work. Don't wait on the perfect time. Just get it going. But today is basically focused on the 10-day challenge. Focus on the 10-day challenge coming up Monday. Just focusing on 10-Man Tuesday. Like I said, try to get 10 people every week, 10 new people, 10 new stories each week of what they want to do, goals they have, what they want to do, whatever, and try to get something popping for them within 10 days, 12 to 14 at least. Try to get something popping. Not a whole lot now. They ain't going to be millionaires, but we try to get something going from to build up your confidence a little bit within 10 days or so. That's mainly what today was about. Tomorrow, I'm not exactly sure. I'll probably go to some group economic stuff tomorrow. Probably. Because that's supposed to be for Thursday. And there's so much stuff on group economics, it can cover several days. But, yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow for another episode. And then if you don't catch it live, you can catch it, on the replay or the reback or whatever it was. Yeah. So yeah, that's it today, man. Just getting ready for the 10-day challenge. Just getting everybody ready. Just went to a little explanation on that right quick. What all was involved on that, the little rules and stuff, and the little this and the little that. I'll put up a link to the note for that because I use a lot of Evernote links. I got a ton of notes, so I just put up my Evernote links. I'll put those up. And people can go check that out or whatever. Check me out on the radio show. This Cash for Hustles Radio, and get on the list for Group Economics. It's called the Group Economics Movement. That's what we're getting going. Is the hashtag, the Group Economics Movement. You can hook up with that at Cash Flow List Builders. We're doing that with email first. And then we're going to go into the whole full-blown thing. Since we're doing this 10-day thing, probably going to push that Group Economics platform back about a week or so, it looks like. Probably. I was trying to do that next week. But since I'm doing this, I'm going to do that next week. Quote, shoot, man, I don't know where to go. It's so much, man. I don't even know where to, I guess, some kind of way, start your own 10-day challenge, man. Look at where you at right now and look at some things that you want to do in life. Look at some things that you want to do in life. And you sitting there, you eating a hamburger, you got hot dogs, you got the TV on, you got some popcorn on the radio, whatever you're doing. And you may do the same thing tomorrow. You may go to work and come home tomorrow and be done. Think about what you want to do in life. Because we just talked about how fast life goes by, how quick kids grow up, how quick we get old. So think about something you want to do in life and think about taking some steps toward that for the next 10 days. If you can't start tomorrow, start Monday. And that'll give you, tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So that'll give you like 4 or 5 days to get prepped up. Let's say you want to go a whole month or 30 days with no meat. I got another dude that want to do a challenge. He want to eliminate meat. For like 30 days. And I told him I've done that before. I did that for, that can be a goal too, man. Yeah, whatever, man. Just, something that you can do, and get your mind prepared for it. And then just say, I'm going to go for it for just 10 days or 15 days or however long you're going to go and try to make it through that 10 days. Like I broke it down. The first 3, the second 3, that'll be 6 days. The third 3 will be 9 days. And then that last day will be your celebration day. That'll be day 10. That'll be the day you'll be celebrating. Say, hey, I made it 10 days through my weight gain, through my money, my business thing, my marketing process, whatever it is that I'm doing. I made it through day number 10 of that. I want to try to get 30. Then you start on the process all over again. And once you do that first 30, and that second 30, and that third 30, that's 90. 90 days is a whole quarter. That's like the whole summer or the whole fall. That's one season. You got that. You've been successful for 3 months. Then you go to the next 30, 60, 90. That's wintertime. The next 30, 60, 90. That's spring. And the next 30, 60, 90. That's summer. And before you know it, that's 4 quarters. And you've been successful for 4 quarters out of the year. And that, that's just a quick synopsis of it. But there's a whole lot of deep stuff that goes into that, man. A whole lot of deep stuff that goes into that. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I'm getting all this stuff. That's why I jumped on this video thing or whatever, because I knew this video thing was going to, because I recognized the way it was set up. Because it's another group that's doing it. It's not me doing it. It's a group called the MLA, MLA Chandler. What they call, what's their name? My Lifestyle Academy. They were sponsoring it. And they finished it because today is August the 1st. I'm late because I ran into some snigs and snags. So mine won't be done until, because I'm on day 26. Today is day 26. So the day 28 would be Thursday, and the day 30 would be Saturday. So they start on July the 1st, and today is August the 1st, so they finished on Sunday. So I'm finishing up late, but I'm determined to finish it, and that's when you finish that, regardless of who knows or who sees it or whatever, you know in yourself that you actually follow through on it. I don't care if you had to fight, whatever you had to do. Whatever you had to do, you just like Jake LaMotta. You just like not the other boxer. What's his who the other dude just boxing? Dude, Mayweather, not Mayweather, but oh boy, the dude that Mayweather's supposed to be fighting. Whether he wins or not. The next step is this 10-day challenge thing and this group economics thing, the platform. Because I'm trying to get the platform. So I wanted to get the group economics platform up next week. But if I'm doing this 10-day challenge thing, it's probably going to be the week after that. Yeah, that's his name, Conor McGregor. That's the dude's name, Conor McGregor. Yeah, And I mean, I ain't gonna say who's gonna win. Everybody already know who they have their have got to have their money on or whatever. But if you're a fighter, you got to go to the end. Did he put you on the mat? Or you're gonna be standing and the referee just put somebody's hand up after the last round. So that's how you gotta go. You just gotta go all the way to try to finish it all the way if you can, and within yourself, that you've been finished it. So everybody know who they got their money on. Everybody knows who they got. Whoever they have their money on, they know. So whatever, they know. I know who I kind of got mine on, but whatever. I'm not really into it, but. You can't miss it because everybody talking about it. So, but yeah, man, that's what I would say, man. Look at where you at right now and what you're trying to do in life. Concentrate on that hard, man. Meditate on it, research on it, study on it, talk to people about it. Start trying to get some game plans together. Try looking at people who have done it, and start trying to follow those people and try being around them. Exactly. I mean, hey, I'm just saying, everybody know who they have their, who they got on their corner. So we just gonna let that play out. A lot of millions of dollars are gonna be made. So hey, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And if Floyd say he thinks it's worth it, because Floyd just want to get a paycheck, he's gonna get a pay. Both of them gonna get paychecks. So but you still gotta have a heart to get up in that ring and do that. You gotta have some heart to get up in that ring to do that. I'm doing another 30-day challenge. I mean, I'm gonna do this 10-day one. And the platform, group economics platform, basically that's my main primary focus is that. But I'm doing 90 days. I mean, this is just a video challenge. This thing right here is just a video challenge. I've been doing 30-day challenges for years. So they're extremely powerful. So if you go through one yourself, in whatever capacity, business capacity, financial, spiritual, emotional, physical, whatever capacity you go through it in, the process is the same. That's why I like 12-step rehab so much, because you don't have to be on crack. When you look at the whole way the 12-step rehab thing is set up, man, it's set up beautifully the way they have it set up. And they started that thing back in the 30s. Alcoholics Anonymous way back in the 30s, and they're still doing it to this day. and it works to this day. It's the same thing as a 30-day challenge. It's the same thing, except it's an ongoing thing, and you're going through life, and you go through different stuff in life, So you can say some stuff, and you can do some stuff, So if you're gonna say some stuff, then you got to do some stuff. You got to do on it. Oh yeah, gotta have that. That's kind of the challenge. That's the problem that most people have with just doing this challenge. And it was a lot of people doing this video challenge, man. It was about how many people? It was about, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred people, 200 or 300 people or whatever. They were doing it, with the MLA challenge. I put the link up to the group and all that type of. Like I said, they finished it, but there's a lot of people in there that have done it. There's a guy to help. He put me on to. What's the guy's name? He's from St. Louis. The guy's name is Manny Rodriguez. Cool dude from St. Louis. And he's Coach Manny Rodriguez. He's been doing this for a while. He's got, he has some success. And, he's a mentor. You have peers, you have mentors, and then you have coaches, and then you also have clients. You have people or students. Different people play different roles in on the road to success. They can have a different role to play. Everybody at one point has played the student. Or you have a peer, that means your fellow student. Y'all on the same level, but y'all can relate to each other because y'all going through the same thing. And then you have a coach and a mentor. A coach and a mentor has already been through it. So he probably can relate to it because he's been where you at, but you're trying to go where he's at right now. So it's all three of you on all three levels. And then as you go through it, you help other people. They're your students. They're your clients. They haven't been through anything yet. You have, even though you're just a poop butt. But you're doing some things that you may be a poot butt, but you're doing more than the other poot butts are doing, So you can help the next poot butt because you got a little step on this poot butt over here. I'm basically, well, it depends on, there's different levels. It depends on what level you're at. I'm way past the level where some people are at, but I'm way behind the level on where other people are. So I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not new to the game, but I'm not the master at the game. So I am someone who's been in the game, has been learning the game, has been doing all type of stuff in it. So I have some experiences, and I have some experiences I do not have, but I do have some, So there are some people who may not know A from B, and I'm able to help you learn from A from B. But there's some other guys way down on R, Q, P, and Z. And, they may be to let both of us know about R, P, Q, and Z, but I can at least let you know about A and B. It's just like people with the 12-step program. The 12-step program, you got a person that's been clean for 30 days. You got another dude been on crack for 12 years. Well, he only been clean 30 days. Don't you think he can kind of say something to dude that's been jacked up for 12 years? But you have another guy that's been clean for 15 years. This guy's been clean for 15 years. He'd have been through divorces. He'd have been through foreclosures on his house. He'd have done all job losses. He'd have been through all types of stuff over 15 years, and he's still standing. You only 30 days clean, 60 days clean, 90 days clean. What they gonna say to you? You just a peon? You kind of are, but you ain't out there in the streets. You'd have made that step. So what level are you on? You're doing something. You're doing something. So you're to be commended because you're doing something. And the guy out there on the streets, he wish he could have been 30 days clean. So everybody's on wherever levels they're at. Everybody helps the next person in whatever position that you can help the next person, as a coach, as a mentor, as a student, as a fellow peer. We on the same level. We both in this together, but as peers, just like when you go to the armed forces, we can help each other. We both privates, but we both on the same team. We're not a sergeant, but we're not a civilian either. You know what I'm saying? So it's different ways to look at it, man. It's a whole lot to it, man. It's a whole lot to it. Basically, like I said, if you kind of catch me, each day when I'm putting these things out, when I'm doing the radio show and all that type of stuff, I get into all types of stuff like this. And then, like I said, with those classes, we kind of hang and run together on a daily basis. And we're working together. Instead of me just saying, do this, do that, do this, do that, we're working as partners together. And we're trying to jointly go to the same goal. That's what the whole group economics thing is about. People getting together and accomplishing some things. So it's a whole lot to it, man. It's a whole lot to it, man. It's a whole lot to it. But like I said, I'm going to put up a link. And, just check me out on those days or whatnot. Man. That's an intense question. That's an intense question, man. I mean, depending on how severe it is, because it can be clinical, and if it's not clinically severe, well, you need, professional attention. I mean, there's some things you can do to try to turn your attitude around. If you're having a case of the blues, or you're just having a case of you're just feeling bad. If it's clinical, then, you need some serious help because your condition is clinical. Yeah. I mean, whatever, it's people go through all types of stuff, but they react to different things in different ways. And some people react harder to other things than other people do. The exact same situation, but two people, that's what I'm saying. All of that type of stuff, man. That ain't no easy stuff to go through. All of that type of stuff, man. Exactly. That is no easy stuff to go through, man. So that's why I said you got to sit down, like I said a minute ago, man. You got to sit down and look at where you are in life. Yeah, all of that stuff. It's so much stuff here that'll zap you. It ain't funny. You got to look at where you're at in life and where you want to go and what you want to do from where you're at right now. Because 5 or 10 years ago, you can't do anything about 5 or 10 years ago or last year. You can't, you can't do nothing about last month. So you got to sit down and look at where you're at right now and, where you want to go, what you want to do, how you can do it. You don't want to just jump up and do any old thing. Start learning, reading, and researching what you can do. People who've been in your situation, people who've been worse off than you. It's a whole lot to it, man. It's a whole lot to it. Like I said, I go into a lot of different stuff and go back on some of the past videos and stuff that I did. Go back on time if you can on there and look at some of the past stuff. But I get into something. I don't get deep into some of it, but I start to tap on some of the stuff, and then the blog, I tap on a little bit of that stuff over at the radio show, cashforhustlesradio.com. It's kind of it depends on the situation. There's no one thing that you can do, not to get back into those old habits, but there's a few things that you can do, not to get back into your old stuff, and it's kind of a daily fight. You remember I was talking about LDP, which is your enemies, laziness, distraction, and procrastination. And then titties, which is TIDDEE, temptations, interruptions, distractions, delays, energy, and emotions. And then the 6 laws of delay and resistance. And I had to go back and look those up about what those laws are. So there's some different things that are enemies. And when I go into the 18 analogies, those are analogies that help you to visualize sort of a story or something where you can defeat whatever the obstacle is. And it's a daily thing, man. You need a whole lot to it. I go into this thing called Wicca. I do a lot of little word things. Wicca is WIKA, which is wisdom is knowledge applied. I got that from the Bible, from the book of Solomon. From the book of Proverbs. Solomon was talking about that. That having knowledge is not the answer. Applying knowledge is wisdom. Having knowledge is not wisdom. Applying the knowledge that you have is wisdom. So when you go read and research and, you be around positive people too, man. You got to have a positive circle that you're around that's not sucking and draining the energy out of you or bringing you back into some old energy and all that type of stuff. We all are. We all are kind of set in our ways. That's why I said it's self-improvement. When it's this 30-day challenge stuff is about self-growth and self-improvement. You have to look at yourself and say, what do I want to do to improve myself, to grow? Do I want to stay in the exact rut that I've been in for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? Do I want to stay in that rut, or do I want to come out of that rut? That's internal. That ain't on John, Bobby, and Susie. Now, John, Bobby, and Susie might be influencing you. And if you're around John, Bobby, and Susie, then you kind of need to distance yourself from John, Bobby, and Susie's influence if you can. Sometimes you can't. You're stuck with John, Bobby, and Susie. And you have to constantly fight back against their stuff. But this whole Wicca thing, like I said, if it's not clinical. Now, some of this stuff is clinical. If it's clinical, then you might need medication. You may have to seek professional help. It may be chemical imbalances. It can be all types of stuff going on. So if it's something that you can do that's doable for you There are some things that you can do that are doable, but in some cases, it might be chemical. If it's chemical, you have to change the chemical imbalance. That's where the medications come in, to change the chemical imbalance, because it's throwing your whole personality off because of the chemical imbalance. So if you have not diagnosed with something clinical, but there's some things you can do, man. Like I said, you go to the blog page at the radio show, cashforcesradio.com, and there's a blog post on there about Wicca, WIKA. Wisdom is knowledge applied, and it tells you some steps you can do that you can kind of help to turn around your viewpoint of the situation, and then you can do something about the actual situation. Start doing actions, do something about the situation. Oh, that's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes you can't, sometimes, man, it could be extremely close. You kind of trapped, and then you just have to find a mechanism, if you can, to try to counteract that influence, man. Every time you're around them and that stuff rubs on you, it sits on you, and it sucks off of you, and it drains you. Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. But you're trying to do what you're trying to do. Here's the thing about growing. When you're growing, and that's why growing has resistance to it. Even the cells in our bodies have resistance when they grow and divide. When you grow, there's going to be resistance. Sometimes the resistance can come from people in your life. The people that's in your life might be the source of resistance. So it might be a constant daily battle against the resistance, which may be coming from people in your life that you work around, that you live around, or whatever you're around. And if you can't get out of your environment temporarily, if you're stuck in your environment, you have to come up with some kind of way to counteract the input from this negative environment. Hard to do. That's why I keep talking about this 30-day stuff and all that type of stuff, because every day is another battle. You get up in the morning, it's not a battle. You get a 24-hour battle, or at least a 16-hour battle. If you sleep for 8 hours, you're up for 16 of those hours. So you got a 16-hour battle. So you begin by mental battle. So you begin the day by preparing for the mental battle. Mentally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all that type of stuff. Because for those who are spiritual minded, religious minded, I also look at success as a spiritual journey. Some people don't look at it that way. Whatever. I just say things that are things that work and that have worked. And for some, or for many, and for many people, success is a spiritual journey. So if it's a spiritual journey, that means you have a spiritual power source that you can plug into. Exactly. You got a whole day to get through. You got to get through that whole day. You're trying to defeat the day. Don't let the day beat you up. You want to beat the day up, or at least make the day grow, or make the day do what you want it to do. So in order to control the day, you have to take control of it. It ain't gonna just do it on its own. The grass won't cut itself. The grass in your yard will not cut itself. So to take control of that day, you have to take control of it. All this stuff is mental. That's why you have to constantly be on a whole mental thing and have a strong mentality. So the different stuff going on around you, you kind of have something built up, and you're not going to be immune to this stuff going on. This stuff going to frustrate you. It's going to disappoint you. It's going to anger you. It's going to upset you. It's going to irritate you. It's going to frustrate you. It's going to do all of that stuff. So you have to have some tools to combat the anger, the irritation, the frustration, the disappointment, all of this crazy stuff that is going to go on. You have to identify who the enemies are, or what the enemy is internally for you, and then externally. That's kind of the theme that I've been talking about. See, all this stuff I'm talking about ties together. It seems like it's all separated, but everything is all connected like a spider web. It's all connected like a spider web. And you follow everything as a chain reaction process. And you're looking at life. You're looking at events in life, you're looking at attitudes in life, and you're looking at things you want to do in life. You want to do some things in life. So there may be some forces around you, resistances, that don't want you to do things in life. And you be saying, why is this? Why is that? Why is that? That's what I was saying. It's part of growth. It's part of the game. When you play football, there's a team on the other side that is opposing you. You don't pick that football up and walk over into the end zone. You pick that football up on offense, and you're going to have some tackles and some front ends and some tight ends and all these guys that are going to tackle you. And if you throw it to your wide receiver, they're going to try to intercept. They're going to try to oppose you. So you have to have a game plan. That's why I call it the 18 analogies. There's a whole bunch of, this is just one analogy. I'm just using the football analogy. It's a whole bunch of analogies. Them analogies help to strengthen you to be able to face whatever you're going to face. Not in addition to knowing that this is a spiritual journey. If it's a spiritual journey, that's a resource. A spiritual journey means it's a source of power. It's a source of power. It's a source of regeneration. In life and death situations and close calls and day-to-day situations, just mundane situations. Just getting up, going to the bathroom, or doing whatever little stuff you get. It's like I said, it's a whole lot to this. That's what I'm saying, and it's a change of mentality. So it's a 24-hour thing. It's a different way to look. When you're looking at people, say, "Hey, what's up, man?" You're going to the store, getting some Kool-Aid or whatever you're doing. "Hey, how you doing, man?" You're a different. If you look at things differently, if you believe in growing, you look at things differently when you go to the store. You just going to get a carton of milk. "Hey, what's up, man? Let me get this carton of milk." Whatever. You're doing a mundane thing. But your viewpoint has changed so differently until you're a different person doing something that mundane. And then you come back to the house, you go to the refrigerator, you're going through life and you have a different mentality. That changes your person, changes the way you look at things. But you have to do that purposely. This is grass. It doesn't just grow, weeds will grow, but a beautiful lawn, manicured and well kept inside here ain't gonna just grow on its own. You have to manicure it. You got to massage it and take care of it and baby it just like just like a little baby or something. So like I said, there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it. There's no one quick answer to this stuff. That's why I use time, days. I use 10-day challenge, 30-day challenge, 90-day challenge, because it's a day-to-day thing. It's not just a 1 hour thing. We're going to sit there for 30, 45 minutes. We just talking. We could be at a bar somewhere having drinks, having a conversation, talking about stuff. Yeah, man, then go home and watch TV and forget all this. But that's just a conversation. I mean, it wasn't nothing but hot air. A 10-day challenge. If I'm working with you, we are together in the 10-day challenge. I'm not somewhere counting my money in New York somewhere, and you in LA somewhere, fending for yourself. On a 10-day challenge, we're fending together. That's why I say you get different positions. You got the student or the client. They just beginning. They just stopped smoking crack. You have the peer or yourself. You have you and your other peers. You're a student, but you have peers around you. You got a group with. You're not by yourself. That's another thing. That's why group economics is so important. Why do we have to do things by ourselves? We can do stuff by ourselves. We don't need nobody else. We can do it. We grown. We don't need nobody to tell us anything. We can do stuff by ourselves. Why is it more powerful to have a group around us? That's why that 12-step program is so powerful. Some 12-step people have groups. It ain't just no one dude. Now, some people can just cut cold turkey, but everybody and mama can't do cold turkey. Some people can do cold turkey, but everybody cannot do cold turkey. And even the guy that can do cold turkey, he or she can help the next person to at least do half of the cold turkey, stopping what they're doing. So that's why it's helpful to have a group. When you have a group, you have other people with you and you are not by yourself fighting and fending by yourself. You're responsible, but you're not by yourself. You're doing things for yourself, but you're not by yourself. So like I said, it's going to take more than 30 minutes or an hour or talk at the bar. It's going to take more than, you can do, people do it all the time. There's a lot of people can do it. But that's sort of a different mentality, and everybody and their mama can't do cold turkey. You can, but you have to have a whole lot of willpower to do that. And there are people who have that strong of a willpower. Sometimes it's a little painful, sometimes it's not. It depends on the individual, because everybody's not the same. So if you were the group, you have different people with different experiences, different personalities, different experiences. So people come from different backgrounds. They also have different viewpoints. They have different perspectives. So you're not just seeing life through only what you do and screw everybody else. You're seeing life through what anyone can do. Everyone can do. And everyone is able to do it. They can, with your help, if you're willing to help, because people do need help. People do that, and we ourselves sometimes need help. We can do it by ourselves, but sometimes we could use some help. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with asking for help. Nothing wrong with receiving help. And there's nothing wrong with offering help or giving help. So yeah, man. So like I said, there's a lot to it. That's why it's a 10-day challenge, a 30-day challenge, because it's a day-to-day thing. And you're going to have mistakes. You're going to have problems. You're going to have slip-ups. You're going to have issues. You're going to have disappointments. That's why I keep saying that 12-step rehab. That's a powerful example, man. Them 12-step folks, if you ever talk to people who's been through 12-step stuff, and they've done it for like a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, more than 30 days, like a year or two, however long they've done it. You couldn't imagine what they had to go through to get to that point. The stuff they had to go through. They might have went through a divorce. They might have went through a foreclosure. They might have lost their jobs. They might have went through all types of stuff. How did they do that? How did they make it through all of that? Like I said, it's a spiritual journey. And it's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it. So why stay by yourself? Which you can do that. If you ain't nothing wrong with it, it can be done. But if you can do it with other people and help people in the process and receive help, then why not be able to do that? Hey, how's it going, Lisa? Tara Lisa's in the house. Dr. Tara Lisa Brewer is in the house. Yeah, we're just finishing up a little thing on this 30-day challenge, day 26. We're doing the 10-day challenge today, setting it up for next week, and we're going to do that. Well, yeah, man, you can get that knowledge, man. All you got to do is one word, and it has 4 letters that a lot of people maybe not used to doing or not big into doing, and that's read. Man, I be telling these people at work all the time, and they're mostly younger people, and they're not exposed to stuff. I'm like, man, I hate to overemphasize it, but I can't underemphasize it. You gotta read, man. You gotta read, because it lets you know how big the world is. If you only watch TV and just deal with what's going on around your block and around your corner with your homeboys, the world is bigger than your homeboys. Yeah, it's bigger than your homeboys, and it's bigger than your block and your neighborhood. It's when you read, man, you expand your mind into so much different stuff, and you don't just read any old thing. Get a basic list of some stuff. Oh, I was just about to say that, man. Well, I tell you what, you can start at, and even for those who aren't readers, they can do videos and kind of transition into it a little bit. But that's what I tell these dudes at school, at work, and they're young dudes. They're young dudes, man. They're young dudes. Read. That's what I told you. Read. They're young dudes. The first book I tell them to, and I haven't heard anything back from them after that or whatever, is check out Malcolm X, man. Check out Malcolm X. Just go Malcolm X. Even if you don't read in the beginning, go listen to Malcolm X speeches. That's the first place to start. Then once you listen to some speeches, then you can start reading a little bit about it, start learning how to research, and start learning. Like a dude, I had a dude up there who was a rapper. So he want to learn all these words. He want to read the dictionary. I just want to read the dictionary, man, and this and that. I'm like, yeah, you can read the dictionary. And the dictionary's got a lot of words and all that in there. The dictionary is great for words and stuff, but the way I would suggest, and the dictionary might be wonderful, but the way I would suggest would be to listen to speakers who know how to speak and articulate. And the first person that comes to mind, there's a whole lot of great speakers out there. I'm just naming off one dude, just a starting point, because you need a list. The first person I name off, especially for a young black man, is Malcolm X. I'm like, start with Malcolm X. Just if you can't read or not into reading as much, start off with videos. Go to YouTube, type in Malcolm X, and start looking at videos on Malcolm X. Start getting deep into this one dude. Now, he ain't everything in the world. He ain't gonna tell you everything in life. But you gotta start. Ain't no one person gonna do that. No one person or one book besides the Bible or whatever is going to tell you any and everything, all this type of stuff. But you can start with that, with an individual. Because the first person I started with when I was younger with all of this stuff was Robert Allen. This is way back in the 80s. Robert Allen, he was maybe Alan Watts too. I don't think I've heard of him. But there's a lot of guys out there, man. It just depends on where you want to start. Have a list to begin from. And then from that list, you can kind of branch out from that list. Start branching out and start getting knowledge. positive knowledge, because there's a lot of negative stuff out there too. So not just any and everything. Positive, uplifting knowledge. Knowledge of self. This is just for young black men, really anybody. Because Malcolm's stuff is great for anybody. But specifically and especially for young black men. Older black men, you know, some of us are a little older. We ain't got to be 19, 20 years old. Whoever, you know. And he's articulate. He touches on some deep stuff. He be hitting some stuff hard. Some of it in his earlier days, it gets a little intense. But one thing you got to learn too, that I learned from Robert Allen, is you have to watch out for hero worship. Because when you start getting a lot of knowledge, this is what happened to me. I got deep into it, and I was so blown away by it that he was the first person I read that I got exposed to, until I kind of started to turn it into hero worship, which I didn't. It wasn't intentional, but it happened on its own. I didn't intend to do that, but it was a natural process that happened, and I started to turn into hero worship. And then I read a newspaper article about Robert Allen, about some of the stuff, and it was from a reporter, and they kind of made him seem a little bit more human and more real or whatever. He was just a regular dude or whatever, you know. He wasn't this amazing whatever, and that let me know. It snapped me out of my what you want to call that? Snapped me out of my trance or whatever you call that, my amazement. And it let me know that, well, yeah, this dude here is, and I was still young. I'm like, yeah, this dude here, I see some of the flaws, this and that. And one thing about hero worship is just whoever the individual is, you're deep into this person, and you just, everything they do is just you just worship this person. They just, you know, wow, you're just amazed by them. Like Martin Luther King, you know. Martin Luther King is a great speaker, great, you know, he did some great things, all that, and you just, wow. Now here's the problem with that, and I better get off of here because it's starting to get long, so I'm gonna wrap this up after this because it's gonna get long after this. But here's the problem with that. And this is one of the foundations I get into for a lot of this stuff I talk about. When you focus on an individual, or you focus on, you know, a personality, that can dissuade you from the actual message of what the person is talking about. Because you know what happened? I don't know if you ever heard of a guy called Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson is a great speaker. He got some great information. He's kind of like Malcolm, not quite, but he's kind of on that Malcolm tip a little bit. Great information. He's putting some stuff down. Next thing you know, he kind of got caught up in some stuff with some chick or some female or whatever it was, this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. And you know, if you were really into Umar, you know, you have to kind of deal with, man, he got caught up with this situation. It was kind of a whack situation, but also you've heard of him. Yeah, right. Yeah. So he's got a couple of things that went down, and it can turn you completely off from the message of what the guy is talking about. See, I try not to do that, because if you get caught up in the individual, you kind of forget all about the stuff that they said, even if they didn't follow it. That's what a lot of preachers do. A lot of these preachers in church, you know, be doing all kind of crazy stuff, whatever, this and that. They get caught up in some wild, crazy stuff or whatever. Hey, what's up, Whitney? Whitney's in the house. I ain't seen you in a little minute. Gus's Chicken representing her. But, you know, you get caught up. The problem with that is you get caught up into an individual or personality instead of the actual message, or what I call the movement. And see, what I'm doing is a movement. So rather than getting caught up into this person, into that person, what is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? What did he do last night? What he doing over there? And you steady looking at this, whatever this person, you steady, you know, looking at whatever they're doing or whatever. You're not focusing on the message, and you're not focusing on the actual movement. So the movement should move along without the individual's input. Now, he might be a leader. You're going to need leadership. I'm not downing leadership, but you have to be able to have, I won't say the sense enough, but you got to have enough wisdom to separate the leader or the leadership from the message and the movement. You know, and if they go in some other direction, but the message makes sense. This happens with scam artists a lot. A lot of people who are scam artists, they make a whole lot of sense, but they scamming folks and running to Mexico and stealing the money and doing all this stupid stuff. Just because they did something stupid, that individual did something stupid, it doesn't detract from the actual message of what he was talking about. This idiot need to be in jail somewhere in Mexico somewhere. But the foundational movement that he was talking about, somebody needs to take that mantle up. Or if it's just a movement, there is no individual. People can't shut you down. People can't do nothing because it's a movement. How are they going to stop a movement? They can stop a person. They can arrest you. They can do all kind of crazy stuff to you. Assassinate you, do all kind of crazy stuff. But for a movement, they can't stop the movement because the movement is almost a leaderless movement. And you have different people within the movement that are leaders and all that type of stuff, but you can't stop the movement. So, or the message. Same thing happened with Jesus Christ. When they killed him, you can't stop a movement or a message. You can stop an individual. And that's where hero worship comes in too, because you focus on the individual, and the minute they find him cheating on his wife or doing something stupid or whatever he doing or whatever, then you just all deflated and whatnot. You're disappointed, but all that stuff he said doesn't change just because, if it was made some sense, just because he did something stupid and he didn't follow his teachings. But anyway, man, yeah, let me wrap this up, man. But yeah, you can go over there to the blog, man, over there to cashflowhustlesradio.com. cashflowlistbuilders.com. That's where I'm going to the group economics movement thing. And like I said, the platform was going to be next week, but it's probably going to be the week after next for the group economics platform. So next week will be the 10-day challenge. And then that 10-day challenge is going to keep going each week. It's going to keep going each week. And the group economics, all this stuff is going to keep going. This stuff goes on like a day after day. It doesn't, this ain't no 1 week, 1 month type thing. This 30-day challenge is, but this keeps going. It may take different forms. It may take different projects, different campaigns, different promotions, but it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. But yeah, let me go and get up out here, man. I'm going to put those links up, the video later on. It'll be on. You got to come back to it later on. I guess it'll take about an hour or so. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know this technology, Facebook stuff. But I'll put the links up. You go back to the links, check all that stuff out later on, and I'll come back. That I don't exactly know because tomorrow is Wednesday. I know for Thursday, like I said, Thursday is Group Economics Thursday, Small Business Thursday. Tomorrow is Wealth Building Wednesday, so I don't know if I'm going to go from personal development or I'm going to go to the business side, which would be the Group Economics side. So it's one of those. But for Thursday, it'll definitely be Group Economics because every Thursday is Group Economics Thursday. But yeah, just go to the website. I'm going to put that up. It's cashflowhustlesradio.com. Cashflowhustlesradio.com. I'm Kevin the Cashflow DJ. Kev the Cashflow DJ. Do my DJing thing. My skr. I do all that. And Cashflow List Builders is where you sign up and support for hashtag Group Economics Movement. And the classes and all that stuff are going to start Monday. Tomorrow it'll probably be about 7 or 8 tomorrow evening. Probably about 7 or 8 tomorrow evening, yeah. Because I have to work tomorrow morning. Same thing with Thursday. And then the weekends are extremely hectic, so I rarely don't do too much on the weekends at all. But Monday through Thursday, those are my main days. Monday through Thursday. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to put the links up later. Thanks a lot for checking me out, Lamont, Whitney, and everybody else, Lisa and all of that, Renee, all family checking in all over the place tonight, all kinds of family checking in. But yeah, man, I'm going to put that link up, man, and check out some of those blog posts, and check out some of those older videos, some of the subjects and all that. I got some of the videos posted up there, and we'll get deeper into this stuff, man. We'll get deep. Actually, it's a day-by-day thing. So we'll get deeper into this stuff. But yeah, it's Kev the Cashflow DJ. I'll holler. I'll catch you guys out later. Cashflow Hustles Radio. Check me out there. Thanks for checking me out. Good to see you, Mr. Dan Smith. I don't know, that sound weird. Talking to some white dude or something. Dan Smith. I'm like, who in the world is Dan Smith? But whatever. I'm going to leave that alone. Whatever, man. But anyway, all right, man. I'm going to check y'all out tomorrow, man. Check y'all out. I'll holler. Kev the Cashflow DJ. I'm out. Peace.